All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Crisis Talk. I am William, and I am very excited to be here with you today.
Hi, I'm Palumi, and yeah, I can't wait for today's topic.
And hi, it's Shy, one intersectional feminist here. Yeah.
It's Gabrielle here. Make sure to check out my podcast, Dreams Money Can't Buy, at the end of this.
So today's topic stems from a post that I saw on Instagram that Alexis Sky shared. And she said, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but women supposed to turn felons, cheaters, community dick, and liars into kings. Oh, okay. And then she also said the irony. And we were just like talking about it and saying like how it is accepted, men are allowed to do X, Y, and Z, and women are just like supposed to take it and keep taking it. And then William mentioned before we came on here about, you know, it's just the biology of men, of like how they are built. William, do you want to explain some more?
Okay, I think because you're making me sound like I'm accepting people
The
to
devil.
do whatever they want.
No, did you say that's not the perception? Isn't that what you said?
Not exactly, Palumi.
Not
Not exactly.
Men are more likely to be promiscuous because of certain biological factors, such as low paternity confidence, which I think
Don't worry, guys. We'll drag him. We're just letting him land. We'll drag him. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, like low paternity confidence, which everyone who doesn't know what that means, basically means, you know, man and a woman get together, have a baby. That woman, obviously, she knows it's her baby because it's in her womb, but that man can only trust what this woman says, that this baby's his baby. So to increase your odds of passing on your genes, because obviously, as human beings, that's what we're all wired. That's what this whole part of life is to certain evolutionary scientists. You know, you impregnate multiple women to increase your odds. Now, that's not me saying everyone go impregnate 10 women on the street. That's just me saying that's why men have certain desires to be slightly promiscuous and seek multiple partners.
Don't you feel like that gives it like that is like, oh, it's accepted now, like, oh, because of that, like they should all be, that should just be the status quo.
Yeah,
What do you think?
because you know, saying that means I'm accepting it. That's like saying someone who studies cancer to come up with cancer treatments thinks cancer is a good thing. No, this is just an explanation.
No, yeah, but I'm saying it's the explanation. It's the explanation, and because of that explanation, because you can't necessarily, because women, guys will never know truly if that is their child. It kind of gives it to be like, oh, okay, that's why I'm allowed to do X, Y, and Z.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I didn't say anyone's allowed to.
No, I'm not saying that's what you said. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in society.
Yeah, I just wanted to obviously counter what William's saying, which is all I've been doing. In terms of the idea that people are a specific way just because of their sex, I think it's very reductionist, and I'm not with it. Because like biological determinism, like kind of saying that, you know, men are promiscuous because of their biology, because of their sex, is problematic because, as I was saying like previously on a talk before the show, it then kind of inhibits the idea of free will. So saying that men's biology means like A means X, it also means that then, you know, forces the idea or promotes the idea that then any behaviour outside of that is then not the norm. And that's problematic, obviously, because at the end of the day, you do what you want to do.
I'm kind of tired of like the whole narrative of men are trash, women are trash. Like, it's just so overplayed. Just because I feel like using different reasons as to why we behave, whether it's our biology, whether it's what we learn, whether it's society, whatever, derives from the fact that at the end of the day, you have the power of choice. Once we begin to take like accountability and responsibility for our actions, we can then change our actions. We can't blame how we act on another person, on this or that. Don't get me wrong, we all go through things in life, childhood experiences, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it is your life that you're living. You have the choice to make. And if you choose to do trash things, that's your choice at the end of the day. You can't say it's because my biology told me to do this. Like, nah, you made the choice, and that's the choice you made.
That's what I mean, because that's what I'm saying, that like when I talk about because it's biology, then it's like it's just this like broad stroke of, oh my god, then it's okay. And I just don't think that's true, because like there are men out there that have not cheated, that are not promiscuous, that are not all of those things. There are men that don't act all of those things. So are you saying that it's not in their biology as well?
No.
But,
What I'm saying, because what I'm talking about here, Mother Earth, is the subconscious desire to make a certain decision. So yeah, you're right, Gabby. It is my free will, but you know, there's a thought process that goes behind every decision a person makes, and your subconscious desires and your subconscious needs can kind of direct you into a certain way, into going into a certain direction. Now, that by no means is me saying it's okay for men to go cheat on their girlfriends or to go have 10 babies with 10 women and be future up in there. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, you know, there's a big tendency in society for men to seek multiple partners. And yeah, they did choose to. And it's not necessarily all biology. It is also the fact that, you know, lack of self-control, you know, lust, all the rest of it. But a part of it comes from they've got low paternity confidence, and they need to counteract that.
I think if it's about biology, it's just going to be about the fact that men probably have a higher sex drive than women, like their hormones and stuff. That's the only thing that I would attribute men's higher, like, I don't know, sex life to. Not because of paternal, like, what do you call it, paternal fear or whatever. Because I don't really feel like that applies in today's society. Like, it's 2020, guys. We're not living in 1954 something. Do you know what I mean?
DNA tests exist. You can get that DNA
Facts.
test real quick. 2 weeks.
Well,
Or less.
exactly. Society has evolved, but your subconscious is still your subconscious.
No, because you can't be living in the past. Like, what?
You're not living in the past. You're subconscious.
Evolve.
Sorry, I just wanted to stay on the subconscious side of things. I think less so about when we're talking about subconscious things that like make you do what you do. Although I do believe that like there's certain parts of human beings that are in it. I don't think stuff like this is a part of that. I'd say more of what subconscious is caused by social forces in your life, like primary socialization. If you don't know, I do socialization. Who's shocked? If you don't know what primary socialization is, it's like the time period during a child's life when they're kind of learning things from their primary caregivers. So like their parents or their school, it's like the first people that kind of like teach you what's right and wrong in a way. And it's where it instills like certain attitudes and values in you. That is where I attribute a lot of the differences that happened in men and women to, is primary socialization and, you know, how you socialize in life. Because when you are younger and a girl is told to, you know, like be prim and proper, and then it's like a boys will be boys, you know, it excuses a lot of the behavior. And I do feel like that continues as you go on in life, and it kind of takes away a lot of the accountability of men. Not that they don't still have it, because they do, but I think that's where as well the choice that Gabriella is talking about comes into it, because they've learnt this behavior, people have to make the choice to unlearn it. But the fact is that a lot of people, both genders, both sexes, men and women, need to unlearn it. But also often, just due to what we are taught, like the patriarchy, men just don't, they're just not on it. Like they've not been forced to make these choices a lot of the time in life, so they don't even know they have anything to unlearn in a way, because they're put on a pedestal. Sorry, carry on, please.
Sorry, no. Just to go from that point of like, so men don't learn these things, so that when it comes to whoever they're with, for example, whether they, because it's more accepted for a man's body count to be high, and like if a girl's body count is above like the number one, no, the number zero, she's determined to be less than and stuff like that. Which I just don't understand how people can just go off this narrative that is like, okay, it kind of excuses men being able to like have sex with whoever they want to have sex with, and like women, it's like they're looked down upon because, oh my god, they've had sex with like, if a woman had sex with 15 guys and a guy had sex with 100 women, it would be like, oh my, there would still be a question mark with that girl. Like, oh my God, you did that with 15 guys. Like, yikes. Like, I don't understand that narrative when it's just like, when everybody, because everybody's just like, people are just people. So if you're going to do that, if it's acceptable for one side, why is it not acceptable for another?
I was just going to say, yeah, I agree. Like, and it's the fact that a lot of men actually actively see men are trash. Yeah, this idea. I think men are problematic. Like, I don't want to do the broad stroke, but there are these consistent attitudes that come up a lot of the time in men. Like, a lot of the boys that I know from home, like one particular boy that I'm thinking of, his body, like, I'm not gonna guess. I don't even want to guess. But let's just say if I go into a room, I don't know who he's not slept with, except for me. Like, it's that type of vibe. But he has said verbatim, like, yo, my girl, my wife, he cannot have a body count higher than 3. That is problematic. Like, men often don't hold themselves to the same standards. They will be slanging it about. But when it comes to my wifey could never. She has to be a virgin. She can't have these body count. She can't be sleeping with these. These times you've had sex with a friendship group. No, problematic. Men. Sort it out.
I feel like with
Absolutely.
stuff like that, it's just going to be a case of what you accept and what you don't accept. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, at the end of the day, people are still going to have their opinions. People are going to have their own standards. Like you said, your friend or whatever, he can sleep with 100 women, but he wants his wife to be on 0.
Ooh, he's not.
Just don't be that wife.
Not my friend. Yeah. Not my friend. Just disclaimer. Don't like him.
Just don't be that wife. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's forcing us to be with these men who hold these standards. So I feel like that's where a lot of women or even like men kind of like flop, in the sense of they think they have to abide by these standards. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's telling you to be with the guy or be with the girl who slept with 100 people. Like, that's your choice. And if that is your choice, you have to understand their mental process behind it. So if you're speaking to a guy and his body count is on 100 and he tells you that he wants a girl whose body count is, I don't know, 1 or 2, he's made that very, very clear to you that that's what he wants. He's made it very, very clear to you that that's his mentality. It is then your choice whether you want to put up with it or not. It's not our choice. It's not our responsibility to change their mindset. Like, that's all you. But let that be all you. That's not me. And just keep it moving.
But I think there are legitimate reasons though why a man whose body count reaches a certain number doesn't get the same amount of judgment as the woman whose body count reaches that same number. Now, it's not necessarily politically correct, but women are attracted to a man who women are attracted to, because that's how this guy's got the sauce, and that's how it's been since the start of humanity. I'm pretty sure. The guy who had the ability to get lots of girls would always get lots of girls. However, for a woman, they do, I can't remember if it's intersexual or intersexual selection, but it's like, for more times than not, it's a matter of saying yes or no.
Men want women that, like, nobody can have, basically, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like there's a certain pride, or like there's a certain like, level of achievement or whatever they carry when they've like, I don't know, got with a girl that nobody has been with.
Like, it doesn't mean that's something good about you if she's saying no to all these guys, but you're the one she says yes.
Oh my God, but I feel like doesn't that just play into like stroking a man's ego, just because like, oh my God, yeah, I chose you. Like, that doesn't mean that, like, so. That doesn't
mean what? What do you mean so? She says no to everybody, but she said yes to me.
But
I'm
like,
not a regular guy. That means
but she's not a regular girl either. She's not a regular girl either.
Of course not, because she says no to these guys. Now, here's the thing: when she says yes to everyone, value.
But you say yes to everyone. You say yes to everyone. Not you, but I'm saying guys say yes. Oh, wait, let me calm down.
William.
Guys say yes to every girl that is. Oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna have sex with you. I'm gonna have sex with you.
No, but that's the thing. Guys don't say it. A guy.
Guys.
Courts.
Courts. Use that loosely. Use that loosely in this generation.
No, anyway. I've never once in my life.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying you
threw her legs open at me.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying generate in this society. Carry on.
The problem often is that men. It's not the idea that all these guys can't have her because of her personality or how she carries herself. It's because of like something like a body count, like that. That is the aspect that they often focus on. Like that is the part. It's not, oh my gosh, I can have her and all these guys can't because she's such an amazing person. But it's more about, yeah, that aspect of like ownership. Like, I don't really get it, but guys really just love to hear that a girl has like a certain body count. And I just think it's really, really weird, because it's like, is my value now attached to my body count because yours isn't? Like, are you now, just because I said, so you could say that your body counts 2 and they're looking at you like, oh. And then like in the same instance, I'm still the same person. I'm still standing in myself. I'm still, for example, if this person is like, we have the same values, we're very compatible, I'm still compatible with you in the same way. But now because I've said my body counts 20, you're now looking at me like I'm totally different. Like a woman's value should not be attached to her body count when a man's isn't, and then at all, period.
No, I agree that a woman's value should not be attached to, you know, women deserve to be sexually liberated and all the rest of it.
But you're going to say but.
Yeah, of course I'm going to say but, you know, nothing comes for free. Let me tell you that firstly. The higher a woman's body count goes, the lower your percent in confidence goes. Because that's more and more genetic material inside her body. Which means...
That's not a thing.
It's a thing. That's the reason why virgins are attractive. It's to do with paternity confidence. Because you know from...
Yeah, that's why, William.
Yes. Otherwise, what would it be for?
Because
we like breaking cervixes.
Go on, Gabby. Have you got any thoughts on this?
Just over William. You shut up, Gabby.
I just feel like I definitely agree with what you guys are saying, in the sense of like a woman's worth and value is definitely attached to like her sexual life. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's just a choice. If you're speaking to a man who like attaches value and worth based on your like sexual life, then what are you still chatting to him for? Do you know what I mean? Like, of course, don't get me wrong, we do have to like critique people's mental states or whatever, or like their thought processes. We do have to like talk about it, argue against it, argue for it. But if we're talking about personal life and how we live our own lives, if you're speaking to somebody who judges you or like values you based on your sexual life, then what are you doing? You're only setting yourself up for failure. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's forcing you to be there. So that's what I think. But I definitely don't think a woman's body count should hold like as much value as it does, because a man's body count isn't valued the same as a woman's is. So there's definitely that like discrepancy between the two.
Okay, here, because we're saying this is all because of misogyny, yeah? But let me say why. Okay, misogyny definitely plays a role. I'm not going to say don't. But let's also include the fact that, okay, when a woman has a high body count, okay, when a man has a high body count, women might judge him, some guys might judge him. But more times, guys don't care. When a woman has a high body count, you know, guys, okay, they'll judge her, but so will other girls. And that's why it's so overly, it's such a big deal all over society, because it's everybody who's got a problem with a woman with a high body count.
No, I'm not saying it's just men either. I don't think it's just men either.
No, but saying it's misogyny implies that.
And misogyny just means like prejudice against women. Like, a woman can be prejudiced against. Like, we acknowledge the women that, like, they're called pick-me's. If you've not seen on Twitter, a pick-me is what you are describing. We do not rate pick-me's. We do not acknowledge pick-me's. They don't exist. Like, they are not for us, therefore they don't exist. A pick-me will be on Insta like, yeah, no wonder you girls are not getting wifed. Like, a pick-me. We don't acknowledge them.
Yo, if the body counts below 1, that we acknowledge them.
We don't acknowledge William.
But I just wanted to say, as a quick disclaimer, I was joking when I was making these jokes, like, you know, body count zeros and times, like, you know.
I'm still a contender, girls. Don't write me off. That's what I'm saying. I'm still a contender.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm out here.
Pick me.
That's what I'm saying. I just didn't want for people to start saying, "Oh, this William guy, he really hates women." No, I'm just messing about. You know, all female power and all the rest of it. You know, do whatever you want to do with your body. I have no right to start saying what's a good amount, but you know, but I have my own personal wants in a partner. So And I don't need to
But
discredit the internet.
the question is that problematic? Like like this idea of preference, people often don't kind of attack or question whether their ideas are problematic. And the thing is, I feel like Gabriella was saying before, especially in this day and age, like at the end of the day, you're gonna have women around you. Like this is just to men specifically. You're gonna have women around you here. You're gonna have like social media. You're gonna have Twitter. These discourses are happening on these platforms or happening in your daily life. It is then on you whether you want to listen to women and understand how sometimes your ideas. I'm not talking about women specifically, but how your ideas might be problematic or not. Like it's on you. Do you want to address your yourself, or do you just want to continue to be blind? Because I see it on Twitter all the time. Like people will be having a discourse, and like men will just come in sometimes, like specific discourses, obviously specific conversations. Men will just come in, they'll just write off like your experience as a woman. How can you tell a woman that's not your experience, that doesn't exist, that's not real? Like people don't often see how problematic some of the things that they do are for men and women, because they're not trying to understand the other gender. They're just trying to, like, it's kind of like that idea of, what is it, you don't listen to understand kind of thing. You listen to reply.
Respond.
You've got no reason not to be targeting you problematic ways in this 2020. It's
100%.
quarantine. We've got all the time in the world. We're not getting out of here for long. You should be dealing with your shit. Stop going to parties and deal and heal. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah,
100%.
because like it's like, because I said that men don't deal, they don't heal their hole, and I feel like that really sums it up in a lot of ways. And I feel like women also, what they do is like they take their time to like to heal as well. But like I feel like women, they needed, like they sometimes are changing in what they accept in men. So like, and I feel like that's also okay as well. Like they're trying to find themselves first, and then trying to find the right mate. Because I feel like back in the days in society, women and men would like trying to use another person to like try and fix them. I feel like now people are like working with themselves to be like, you know what, I need to build this for myself, by myself, so that I can when I am in a relationship, it is prosperous and it is amazing, and it's like, it's still going to be hard because you're dealing with two people at the end of the day, but all these issues that you needed to deal with internally have already been dealt with. So yeah.
You better
It's
carry
about
your own
like,
trauma.
it's like the cyclical nature of pain and hurt. Like what we've experienced, we're going to project onto others, and if we don't deal with that, we're going to continue to project it onto others. Like I've met so many guys in my life who just project their insecurities onto me, and I am so sorry, but I'm not here for it, and I'm not dealing with it. Like it's just not for me. Like that whole cyclical nature of your pain, your insecurities, everything that you go through. Like I'm sorry, you have to find a breaking point. You're not. I just don't get it. Like you're not bound to your circumstances, to your life experiences. Like nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying this is who you're going to be for the rest of your life. Like make a change within yourself and be the change that you want to see. Like it's just, it's not that simple, but it's legit that simple.
It is that simple.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Gabby. And make sure go listen to Gabby's podcast. And
Dreams money can't buy, sir.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was a good show.